City residents facing traffic woes. 1 million kina credit scheme for Central Province.
We'll teach them how to put a business plan together.
And Ryan Pini fetches goal for PNG in the 50-metre backstroke.
This is National EMTV News with Neville Troy.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. This is Tuesday's news. With slow traffic, patience will be needed during the rest of the Pacific Games, with priority lanes given to the Pacific Games here in the nation's capital. Traffic starts at Gerehu Stage 1 to Waigani Drive traffic lights. And with the Games Village situated at the University of PNG, the Priority 1 lane has caused most working residents living in Gerehu going to work late.
Priority traffic lanes given to Pacific Games transportation has caused slow traffic movement around the city. City workers are complaining that it takes almost 1 hour in slow traffic before they get to work. Many are arguing that even though priority is given to Pacific Games, there needs to be consideration given to residents of Port Moresby. This situation is serious for Dr. Peter Olali, who travels from Gerehu to Port Moresby General Hospital at 3 Mile.
It takes about 1 hour for me from Gerehu to the hospital. But we're trying to at least put up with it for the next 2 weeks.
For PMV passengers, their situation is not much easier. With a limited number of buses available, racing for the bus is a daily struggle and then having to wait in slow traffic.
Traffic tu ya big traffic tu masih hard lo mi golo walk area so me wait it.
Adelaide Xerox Kari, National EMTV News.
Meanwhile, a new road connecting Marata and Gerehu was officially opened yesterday. NCDC Pacific Games consultants said this road will ease congestion for residents during the Pacific Games. Eric Ropma with this story.
NCDC opened up an alternate traffic route for vehicles to use during the peak hours of the Pacific Games. The City Commission, through Governor Powis Pakop, just opened the Gerehu to Morata Back Road for residents to access. Governor Pakop said this is to avoid spending long hours in the chronic traffic queue. According to Pacific Games Secretariat consultant Celine Mokis, this route will make traveling more convenient for the general public.
Governor and our city management are a little bit concerned for our residents, especially at Gerehu, with the priority lane being in place for the next 2 weeks. It's caused a bit of congestion.
She said given the amount of traffic jam within the city, NCDC is addressing the problem through this new route. Mokis said road users will not be at risk because they will be used from Morata, meaning the route, alongside a heavy police presence carrying out regular patrols. Residents living in Gerehu, Morata and the surrounding areas are encouraged to use this road. Eric Arupma, National EMTV News.
A 1 million kina credit scheme has been set up for the people of Central Province. This partnership between the Central Provincial Government and the nationwide microbank was announced today.
This credit scheme is specifically to start up and support small businesses in Central Province. There are 2 categories. Under the small grants category, borrowers can obtain a minimum of 500 kina and a maximum of 5,000 kina. For those looking for a bigger amount, the maximum is 50,000 kina.
Central Province Governor Kila Hauda said he hopes to continue this support in the years ahead.
It's very important that Central people, to my people of Central Province, we have a facility here, go to the bank and borrow a loan and look for yourself. It's better to earn your own living and better your life than to go and ask for money from the government, because it does not exist.
Nationwide Microbank Managing Director Tony Westerway said their experience in working with first-time bank account holders have shown that conducting financial education is a very important component of their loans packages.
Often the first engagement a person will have with us was to open that bank account. We teach them how to use that. Then we teach them to save. And then if they have a proposition, a business proposition, if they want to buy nets for their fishing, for example, and we'll teach them how to put a business plan together.
Borrowers would need to have a 20% equity in order to access this loan. Sarah Aupong, National EMTV News.
You're with National EMTV News. We'll have more local stories after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back to the news. Bank of Papua New Guinea Deputy Governor Benny Popoitai says financial inclusion is the way to achieve a wealthy and healthy nation by 2050. Popoitai says financial inclusion is a worldwide agenda, but in PNG it is progressing slowly with many challenges ahead.
Mr. Popoitai says when a majority of people participate in the process of economic development, it will sustain economic growth. But in PNG, the majority of the population living in rural areas have limited access to banking facilities. Of the 7.5 million people in PNG, about 20% have a personal bank account and participate in the formal banking system. Despite booming economic growth in the last 10 years, social indicators like access to clean water and infant and maternal mortality indicators are some of the worst in the Pacific. The Deputy Central Bank Governor says educating people to budget and save money will make people wealthy and healthy.
Talk Vision 2050, a wealthy and healthy nation. This is la road. No other way.
The task to drive financial literacy in rural PNG is huge. In 2012, with the support from Bank of PNG and international donor partners like USAID and ADB, a microfinance expansion project was born with the aim to financially educate 120,000 people by 2017. A team is moving around the country, so far training over 47,000 people, about 27,000 of whom are women.
People are like making more than 50%. Blood metre must financial education. By 2015, we must got about 1 million people accessing financial service.
During the financial literacy graduation in Baya, Western Islands Province, those who received the training said they want it extended to other provinces as well. Quinten Alomp, National EMTV News.
Motukoitabu Association President Miria Ikupu has died. Tributes are paid this morning with a 2-minute silence at the Lancron Naval Base, where his son Kone is taking part in the canoeing competition for Team PNG. Late Ikupu's last public appearance was at the arrival of the Pacific Games Oil Search Baton Relay in Port Moresby. The USNS Mercy ship is now in East New Britain Province. The massive floating structure made its second mission stop in the country after visiting the autonomous region of Bougainville. It leaves PNG for Philippines on Thursday. The USNS Mercy, dubbed the Floating Hospital, is in the country under its Pacific Partnership program to deliver much-needed health services to the people. Our reporter Edwin Fidelis has this story from Kokopo.
For many who see USNS Mercy for the first time, it is another ordinary vessel. But it is more than just a vessel. It is a floating hospital.
She's pretty big.
It has a capacity to hold up to 1,000 patients at any given time, 11 operating theaters and 4 x-ray rooms, amongst others. On Sunday, when it arrived in the East New Britain Province from the autonomous region of Bougainville, it brought with it confidence to the Rabaul people. At the launching of the mission visit yesterday, Mercy received a standing ovation from the East New Britain provincial government.
That is the history of Rabaul.
But Mercy didn't bring only a team of medical specialists. It also brought with it other members from various professions, civil engineers, an aviation team, and also a fleet band.
It's so important that all the partners, all the Pacific nations, of which Papua New Guinea is one, Australia is one, Japan, the U.S. is a Pacific nation as well. So this mission brings us all together to prepare for these disasters, to build resiliency, to build capacity, and learn how do we work together.
This will be the third time for the USNS Mercy to visit Papua New Guinea. Now, some of the services that are being provided both on the ship and off the ship can't be accessed anywhere else in the country. But for the crew members of the USNS Mercy, it is an honor to fill in this void, they say. Edwin Fidelis, National EMTV News, Kokopo.
And now we take a look at the finance news. The kina closed unchanged at $0.3635 in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, your kina was buying $0.3560, $0.4722 Australian dollars, $0.3181 euro, and 43.23 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, gold and copper closed higher, while coffee and cocoa closed the day lower. Palm oil, crude oil, and copper all closed the day lower. And finally, on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed at 47 points lower, the All Ordinaries closed at 16 points higher, and the ASX closed at 26 points higher. And we have Trukai Sports coming up next, and PNG's superfish Ryan Pini maintains gold collection, Fiji's Rugby Sevens team arrive for games, and the Bars improve international cricket PNG status overseas. We'll have all of that after the break.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. Papua New Guinea's swimming superstar Ryan Pini won his first gold medal last night for PNG. It's another gold for Papua New Guinea, once again retaining his record since the last Pacific Games in New Caledonia. In both the men's and women's 4x100 meter relay, Papua New Guinea came third, taking home the bronze medals. Godwin Eki reports.
Ryan's performance from the last night's race didn't come as a surprise when he won the first gold medal for Papua New Guinea in swimming, bringing the whole audience of Papua New Guinea to their feet. It was all eyes on him as he made his way up to the pool to compete in the top 8 in the men's 50-meter backstroke. Ryan described his win as a moment that he will never forget. It was his performance that brought the whole audience to their feet, knowing Ryan was taking gold even before he jumped into the pool.
Outside, Pini's going to hold him off. He's going to get there. He's got there.
To see what I do best, it's really special, and it's fitting for my career to be able to do this.
Winner of the gold medal representing Papua New Guinea, Ryan Pini.
Team coach Vilua Puana was speechless during the interview, but very proud of Ryan's performance and couldn't be any happier.
In these last 5 days, and maybe there will be a lot of medals to win by a few of our teams.
In the men's and women's 4x100 meter relay, both took bronze for Papua New Guinea, finishing off the race in third placing.
Go Team PNG!
Godwin Eki, National EMTV Sports.
The Fiji Rugby Sevens team arrived today in Port Moresby on a chartered flight from Nadi. Expressing their joy of being here for the games, captain of the team says they are expecting tough competition from the PNG Pukpuks in their first game tomorrow. The Fiji Rugby Sevens team are the current world champions and have won the World Cup several times over.
The second contingent of Team Fiji have arrived in the country, which included the volleyball teams, the golfers, the Fiji Batis, the Rugby Sevens, and the Fiji Shop and Save athletics team, led by Pacific Spring King Banuve Tambakakoro, who specializes in the 100 meters and the 200 meter sprints. Also making a comeback is Makalesi Tamalevu. She will be taking on PNG's very own Toya Whistle. And of course, the Rugby Sevens team are the current world champions. They've won the World Cup several times, and the Hong Kong Sevens 12 times already.
We're going to have a very tough first game against the hosts. I'm sure they've trained hard for this and will be looking to take an early scalp. And then obviously Samoa, who have beaten, I think, Fiji in the last couple of times in the Pacific Games, and Tonga will be strong as well. So it's probably they're the big three, probably.
Yeah, preparation has been underway for the last couple of days. We came back together just for the last 7 days. So everything is really going through all right. And we're really looking forward to the 3-day event. But I guess the competition is going to be really tight this year. Because of Samoa has been coming, is a defending champion in sevens, and the introduction of New Zealand and Australia as well into the competition will really up the tempo as well. Yeah. So looking forward to the sevens tournament.
Sasha Pesilovo, National EMTV Sports.
Well, the fastest man in the Pacific, Fijian Banuve Tambaukakoro, arrived in the country today to begin his Pacific Games athletics campaign. Banuve holds the Pacific current record in the men's 100 and 200-meter sprints and says that he is looking forward to the Games, naming PNG as his biggest rivals on the tracks.
Oh, definitely PNG, you know. Our rivalry goes way, way back. So, you know, it's something that's been going on for the past SPGs. And, you know, we'll come out here and we'll just do our best and, you know, just compete in the true spirit of the Games. And Tonga and Samoa should be bringing in some really good sprinters as well. And, yeah, we're just looking forward to really tough competition on the day.
To cricket overseas, while much of the emphasis has been placed on the Pacific Games over the past few days, Papua New Guinea continues to make their stamp overseas, with the Barramundis continuing to improve their international cricket status. The Barras defeated Kenya by 10 runs at the Breedy Cricket Grounds in Ireland in their first warm-up match for the ICC World T20 qualifier. Kenya brought tough competition to the pitch, scoring 141 runs in their 20 overs, but Papua New Guinea's batsmen hit back harder, scoring 2 for 45 runs in the first 5 overs. With the weather a blunder to the match, coach Deepak Patel urged opening batsmen Lega Siaka and Tony Ura to be ahead on the run rate, and both did well, lifting PNG's score to 26 runs after 3 overs. PNG have 2 more practice matches before their first match of the ICC World T20 qualifier on Sunday against Jersey and Hong Kong next week. And that's all for True Kai Sports. We'll have all the weather details up next. Stay with us.
True Kai Sports. True Kai Sports.
A quick look at the weather forecast for tonight and tomorrow in the southern region. All centers fine and cold tonight with sunny tomorrow. And that's been the news, sports and weather for this Tuesday, the 7th of July, 2015. We will now continue with MTV's broadcast of the 2015 Pacific Games, commencing with swimming. From all of us here at the